We begin today's vlog with this comment. Wow, your channel really went downhill. You used to be so popular like 5 years ago. I'm sorry. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs, and I want to thank you so much for joining me today. That comment, I obviously got it, a few days ago, and I literally laughed when I read that comment. I'm not upset by it, but it did make me laugh. I literally laughed out loud when I read that. But you know what? The channel, in a way, kind of has gone downhill, so I can't really blame the comment for being there, or for that person to even think that the channel went downhill. But a lot of stuff has definitely changed over the last, what he said 5 years, or they said 5 years. So I mean, 5 years ago, I was still doing MVS pretty much full time because I had more time to go out and do Mike's Vehicle Spotlight features and all this stuff. But a lot has changed since then, not just with the channel, but in my life in general. So I've been trying to bring MVS back with a different type of feature. It's not like the old MVS. Right now, I've only been able to really put two out. But the weather, the season. We're in spring now, so the days are getting longer. The weather's going to be getting nicer, and hopefully I'll be able to actually get more cars done for MVS. And even with the vlogs, the vlogs, I want to do the backlot cars again, for sure. Actually, there was a good lineup of cars at the dealership that were getting ready to go to the auction that I thought would make excellent backlot car videos, and I was going to do it after work this past Friday, but guess what? They left. They had already scheduled them to be picked up, and off they went, so I missed that opportunity. Didn't know that they were leaving. I mean, the car's seriously only been there for a day, so they've been trying to really keep the back lot, empty, unless it's something that we're going to keep and sell at the dealership. But a lot of the good, interesting backlot cars, a lot of beaters and stuff that I wanted to look at for the backlot series, gone. So, missed that. But the point I'm trying to make is, I know there's been a lot of changes to the channel. I've addressed these more than once already. And, I'm still trying to bring you guys content. A lot of content has obviously been on my personal '01 Aztek project. And even then, it's been kind of slow because I haven't been able to buy the finishing stuff that I need to get it moving yet. So I'm still working on that. There hasn't been a whole lot with the personal vehicles that, has really been going on. So, yeah, but I'm hoping, once there's better weather and, I get some free time outside of work, we'll be getting back to other content other than just what is going on in my driveway. But, yeah, channel's gone downhill. I try to bring you guys some good stuff, and I know there's still a lot of people out there who enjoy it. I'd like everybody to be able to enjoy it, but, as I've said, there's been changes, and I'm still going to try to do my best to bring you actual MVS features this year, and more interesting stuff for the vlogs, whether it's my personal cars, the Aztek project, or stuff at the dealership, so I'll do what I can. Let's talk about today's topic, which happens to be in regards to the Aztek, of course. I follow a lot of social media accounts that have to do with the Pontiac Aztek. There's the official Pontiac Aztek fan club that is on Facebook. There's a couple of things on Instagram that I follow, like just the hashtags of the Pontiac Aztek. Just to see if there's any new pictures that people post of theirs or whatnot, or if there's just any new topics in the Facebook threads about the Pontiac Aztek. So it actually got me interested to make a vlog about cars that resemble the Pontiac Aztek in one way or another. And believe it or not, there's actually quite a few that either do or don't look like the Aztek. But you know, I started seeing people compare these cars to the Aztek. These are more modern cars. A lot of these are, you know, 18 and 19 model years. And I can see the similarities, but there's also some that I don't see similarities on, and I just figured it'd be interesting to make a vlog where I kind of state my opinion on it, since I'm such a diehard Aztek fan. So I figured this would make an interesting vlog, and again, I hope that, you know, it's interesting to you guys. But I do have a small list of cars that I have pulled pictures up with, and we're just gonna, I guess, take a look at the similarities between the Aztek and whatever current car is out there today. Now, we all know by now that the Aztek has been, it's definitely one of the iconic crossovers of its time. Definitely, I mean, it was one of the first crossovers out there, and it came out with styling that nobody really cared for except like a small handful of us diehard Aztek fans. No, I don't wear this shirt all the time. This is the second time that I've worn this shirt. I know I wore it in the last vlog that I filmed, but that was 2 weeks ago. This is the second time that I'm wearing this. It was just washed a couple days ago, and I pulled it out of the drawer today. So I don't wear this all the time. I would if I could, but I don't. But, you know, the Aztek styling is definitely something that was ahead of its time, and being that, you know, the Aztek debuted almost 20 years ago almost. I mean, you know, we're looking at the cars today, and, you know, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of vehicles out there that kind of display characteristics that originally showed up on the Pontiac Aztek. It's actually quite interesting. So one of the very first cars that come to mind for me personally when it comes to the similarities of the Aztek and this other vehicle is honestly the Nissan Juke is the first one that comes to my mind. Now, it's definitely been a long time since I've paid attention to actually anything from Nissan, since, you know, I'm not really doing the MVS features with the Nissan cars at the moment, or, you know, who knows when if I'll ever go out to the Nissan dealership. It's just too complicated nowadays. But the only thing that really strikes me between the Aztek and the Nissan Juke was the front end, and there's not a whole lot there to resemble the Aztek on the Juke, with the exception of the lowered headlights and the amber lights placed up next to the hood line. So those are really the only similarities that I found. Obviously, the Aztek has lower recessed headlights, you know, within the front fascia, and then above them you have your amber marker lamps that sit pretty much alongside of the hood. So the Nissan Juke happens to carry that trait over, and I honestly don't know if people recognize that when the Juke first came out or not. But nowadays, you know, you look at it and, you know, those are the only similarities with the Nissan Juke that I can really see. I mean, the side profile, obviously the Juke is a lot shorter. It does sort of have the slanted back, you know, where the rear window is. But, you know, a lot of these crossovers nowadays have that style. That just seems to be the style of the sloping rear window, and some of them, as we will see, have a sudden drop. So there's a few of those that do, a few of them that don't. But the side profile of the Juke really doesn't strike me as Aztek at all. You know, even with the sloping rear window, I still don't see enough of the Aztek on the side with the Juke. Just the front light design, and that's really it. I don't have anything else to say about the Juke. There's nothing else there that is Aztek relatable. Another one that I saw some people compare was the Jeep Cherokee when it first came back out. The front end of the Cherokee, I think, has been slightly redesigned, but I'm referring to like the one that I'm displaying here on the screen. I forget what year I did this as. I think this was either a 14 or a 15. This is it's one of those years, but it's a Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk model, And again, I don't really see a whole lot of Aztek with the Cherokee like some people have been saying. Again, the front lights maybe only because the actual headlights of the Cherokee do sit lower than those higher placed LED accent lights that sit there again close to the hood. So I guess if you were to look at the side profile of the Cherokee, you can kind of see the headlights, or not the headlights, but the amber lights sit up higher than the actual headlight assembly does. So maybe that's the only thing there again. In the back, I don't see it. There's the slight window slope, and there's nothing else there. So I can't really say that the Cherokee looks like the Aztek. So no, I just don't see that one. I don't see that one at all. Now the interesting one that I have come across a lot, and I'm gonna be honest, this one I don't see enough on this car to compare it to the Aztek. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's been showing up a lot, but it's this Lamborghini Euros, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. The Lamborghini Euros is, I guess, a crossover vehicle made by Lamborghini, and it's hasn't been out for too long, I don't think. But I've been seeing a lot of pictures, side by side comparing this Lamborghini model to the Aztek, specifically the one in yellow. And that's because the Aztek, of course, one of the signature colors of the Aztek is Aztek yellow, with the black cladding that was came out for 2001, the first year for the Aztek. So I think people are trying to compare it because of the color, and maybe a little bit because of the shape. But I just don't see enough of the shape to do, a full relatable thing with this vehicle and the Aztek. The back window, however, does have more of an angle to it. It's definitely got more of the slope, and then it does have the drop in the back. So I can see with the color of this specific Lamborghini and the back window design and such, I can understand that being relatable to the Aztek. But the rest of the car, I don't see. The front end is too long. The actual front end design, like the grille and stuff, doesn't resemble that of the Aztek at all. Even the roof line starts sloping after the angle that sits above the front doors. It starts to drop and then goes into the rear window. So I still don't see enough of the Lamborghini Euros to be comparable to the Aztek, other than the color, the specific yellow color, I guess, and then the back design of the car. And that's really it. So in a way, maybe just a little, but not enough to really get all excited about it. That is a pretty cool looking car, though. I do like the way that Lamborghini looks. It's pretty awesome looking. The next one that I saw somebody comparing the Aztek to was the new 2019 Toyota RAV4. And the only thing that I can really compare with the new RAV4 is, again, maybe the back window design. It's got the slight slope, but this does have the rear spoiler placed over the rear window, so there's not really a whole lot there. It doesn't have that sudden drop. And then even where the taillights are, it kind of drops there. It drops downward, but not enough for me to say it's Aztek relatable. I guess the only other thing I can say about the new RAV4 is the amber lights are placed, higher up next to the hood line, as in the Aztek fashion, but the headlight lenses are still connected, so it's not like it's its own separate lens or anything. So there again, I think the RAV4, definitely a nice car. This specific color that I screenshotted, this blueprint, I think that's actually a pretty awesome looking color, especially with the black cladding and stuff a little bit around the wheels and toward the bottom. That's pretty cool. But there again, I just don't see the Aztek in it. Maybe, again, the back window thing. A lot of these cars have, some sort of back window slant nowadays, these crossovers. But there again, nothing like that. So I don't see the RAV4 all that comparable to the Aztek as some people on these posts have been comparing them to. Now the next one I can say quite possibly is very relatable, because there are a couple of things with this specific vehicle that I can kind of pinpoint out. But there again, it's a brand new vehicle. I think it's only been out for maybe a year, maybe two, if that. But it's the Hyundai Kona, I think is how you pronounce that, the Kona. Nice looking vehicle. I like its compact shape. I like the color that this screenshot was taken in. Not sure the name of it. But you know, if you look at the side, you know, it's smaller than the Aztek. Obviously, this is more of a compact crossover. There's not much of a rear window, you know, after the rear doors. But I think the comparable traits here are obviously there's black cladding, not enough, but there's some black cladding that goes from the front around the wheel wells, down the rocker panels, and then back around the rear wheels, and then to the back of the car. So there's black cladding there resembling year one of the Aztek. But the front end actually is where I do see some resemblance, because we do have separate light housings and we have a large grille in the center. So the lights that are placed up higher look like they're just LED daytime running lights, whereas I'm assuming these are the headlights placed below in separate bezels and separate lenses, and those sit next to the large grille with the Hyundai logo. Obviously on the Aztek the grille is large, but it's split. It's got its signature two-piece grille on the Pontiac Aztek. And even funnier with this Hyundai is there's a small, it looks like a very small air dam placed in between those LED lights also. So the front end may have some characteristics here that compare it to the Pontiac Aztek. Not 100% similar, but the general idea, I guess, is still there, that resembles it with the Aztek. As far as the back, again, we got a small slope design. The taillights are a little bit higher, as in, you know, Aztek fashion, but that's really it. There's nothing else really back there, nothing too dramatic that compares it to the Pontiac Aztek. But with this vehicle, I will say that most of the similarities come from the front end of the Hyundai Kona. And again, very nice car. I think it looks pretty cool, and you know, that's really all that I have to say about the Kona. Just the front end features look like it's comparable to the Pontiac Aztek. Now this one here, this one is probably my favorite, because I can definitely see where this one has a lot of Aztek resemblance. This one is pretty interesting. But here we have the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. Now this, I don't know a whole lot about this vehicle, and the only thing that I can really see from this particular vehicle, this Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, I don't see a whole lot of characteristic with the front of the car. The front of the car, you know, the headlights are placed next to the grille. You have large, looks like fog light housings placed down below. So, I mean, there's really not a whole lot of characteristics up front to look like an Aztek. My characteristic finding, and I think a lot of people see this too, is the back. The back of the Mitsubishi Eclipse has the slanted window at the back, but it's got the sudden drop, and it looks like that is also a glass window right there also that sits in between those taillights. Now the taillights are also placed next to that window, as in Aztek fashion. And on this specific vehicle also, it looks like they are connected, you know, through a light bar. I'm assuming that might be a light bar, but it looks like the lights are connected at that piece, and that resembles the rear spoiler on later Aztek models, which would be sitting there also, like on my 2003 Aztek when I had it. There was a spoiler there, so a lot of them have that after the 2001 model year. After that year, they all have spoilers. So I can see the back of this car really resembling the Aztek, and I do find that kind of funny. And there again, at the very top of this vehicle, at the top of that window, there's also a spoiler there. So that might throw it off a little bit. If the spoiler wasn't there and it just had that sudden drop where the window begins in the back, then yes, it would look nearly 100% identical to the Aztek's rear window, I guess. But other than that, the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross doesn't look like there's anything else to really compare it to Aztek-wise. It is, again, more compact than the Aztek. There's no rear windows after the back doors. And yeah, that's really it. And the roofline. The roofline has that weird drop, that rear slant after the front doors that take it to the window. So yeah, but the back on this one for sure resembles that of the Aztek. For sure. And surprisingly enough, I only have one more car to really talk about, and I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't really see anything with this particular vehicle that says Aztek. I don't really understand it. But here's a screenshot of the Tesla Model X. On this car, I don't see anything Aztek relatable. Perhaps maybe the only thing is the very back, where the taillights look like they are higher, and along with the sloping back end, you have that sudden drop, and there happens to be a spoiler there also. But there's no window there, I don't think. The Tesla doesn't have a back window next to its taillights. It's just the rear glass that slopes upward. So I guess that's really the only thing, but this car is way too round, in my opinion. It does not have enough, weird angles or anything. It's just one smooth roof. The front end is short on the Tesla car. The headlights and stuff are placed up higher. It looks like next to the hood line. But no, I don't see Aztek on the Tesla Model X. Just the back a little bit, and that's it. So the rest of the car really doesn't have anything Aztek relatable. Fun fact, we just got a used 17 Tesla Model X at the dealership, but I think somebody has already planned on buying it. It's literally only been at the dealership for a day, and I got to look at it just briefly, and I must say, I wasn't crazy about them at first, but seeing it in person for the first time and sitting in it and stuff, it's pretty cool. So hopefully it'll be there this week, and I can get my hands on it for a video, but I highly doubt it's going to be there. But I just want to say it is pretty cool, and we'll see if I can, if it'll still be there this week. I'll try to do something about it. But that's it, guys. I don't really see anything. I don't see the Aztek in a lot of other vehicles, but just from what I've seen on some of these social media pages I visit, I thought it'd be kind of cool to look and just kind of, just my own input about it, I guess. So that's really all that I have for today. Other than that, I did launch some new product at my Teespring store in regards, for purchase. There's the Vlog Tech T-shirt, which I've just kind of dubbed my Aztek as because it's been in vlogs, and I'm one of the probably the only person who actually vlogs about their Aztek, so I don't really know how many other people do that, but I decided to give it the name Vlog Tech, and I designed a shirt with it. There's also a couple of coffee mugs that I've designed. If you don't want to wear the shirts, you can start your morning off with some MVS coffee mugs. And I think that might be all that I've put out there recently. But give the Teespring store a look at if you're interested, and buy some stuff. If not for yourself, for somebody else who enjoys either the Aztek or MVS or the vlogs or whatever. That's www.teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all that stuff. There's also some stuff seen below the video on a little scroll bar. And other than that, if you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. If you can think of another car that might resemble the Aztek in a way, let me know in the comments below. But that was just my thoughts on all the vehicles that I've seen that were comparable. And But there again, a lot of vehicles kind of share a lot of similar traits nowadays, and what was, weird looking almost 20 years ago is now all of a sudden something that seems to be acceptable in a lot of either similar or different forms. So that's really all that I have for today, guys. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. So thank you so much for watching, and take care.